Hey, I'm back. Anyways, I am going to bring you another topic, and this is actually in regards to hiring. So, supposedly, a recruiter leaked some hidden job requirements. You might be asking yourself, what are hidden job requirements? They're basically job requirements or preferences, usually that the hiring manager has or the company has, that they probably don't want you to know because they don't want you to feel like you're wasting your time. But basically, they're just requirements that are not on the actual job description. So, yes, this post I pulled off of Reddit, and it goes through the preferences that the hiring manager would like for their candidate. Now, this is for a software engineer position, and this hits home because I'm also an engineer, and I've said this for years, and I've been gaslit for years. And people used to tell me, no, there's no such thing as hidden job requirements. And I was like, you must be in the Twilight Zone. But I'm so glad this came out, but it's also unfortunate, but it's a real thing. And I think this is specific towards the company the recruiter is, of course, working for. But I do believe that all companies have these hidden job requirements that they don't want you to know. And they might seem very prestigious. They have some prestige to them. For example, let's just step through. I have it here on the screen. You can see there are preferences for the universities you go to. Now, when I was in high school and in college, I used to ask this question, does it really matter what university you go to? Some teachers will of course say no. Some people would say yes, but majority would be like, no, it doesn't matter as long as you understand what you're doing. And yes, I understand there are both sides of the argument, but I think there are people out there like no matter what you do, okay, they're just wanting that prestige of that university. So the first university that we see is MIT. The next one is Stanford University, and so on. Carnegie Mellon, University of California, Berkeley, California, Institute of Technology, University of Illinois, University of Waterloo. And of course, this is for that specific company. I don't know what company that this came from, but I just feel like this is very unfortunate because when you apply, especially in the past like couple of years, it's like if you apply to a engineering position, within 1 hour there are already like 300 candidates. Okay, and I know they all did not go to Stanford, but it's like they're just like weeding out people who went to these prestigious schools, and they won't give other people a chance. Okay, I don't right, but let's move on. The next one is these special exceptions. So I guess you can go and try out for this position. I guess interview for this position. But they want you to have a perfect 4.0. Okay. 4 to 10 years of software development experience. And then your stack, your skills. Modern Java, TypeScript, Node.js, React.js, the usuals, AI, LLMs. So I hope you guys have this on your resume if you're applying to an engineer position, because now they don't even have humans looking at the resumes until the AI or the algorithm filters your resume out. So you should be having all the latest software skills, etc. on your resume if you're trying to get these roles. Let's move on. It says longevity at roles. Of course, if you don't want to any job hoppers. I hear for some companies, people work a max of like 2 years before they leave to another job, and that's a great way to get a pay increase or just a raise. But yeah, they don't want any job hoppers. And I've heard this a lot. I understand why, but try to stay at least a little longer than 2 years. The next one, a significant experience at notable startups. Okay, so they want you to have some grind history. They don't want you to be at a company and then come to their company and think you can just sit on your butt all day. They want you to actually grind at a startup, because most startups, it seems like you're not going to have a life. You're going to be there for some time and dedicate your whole life to that company. And that's even if you do get paid. Let me digress. What surprised me was the next bullet point. Diversity hires. So what I've noticed about this is that when companies are actually looking for funding because their profits are low for the past couple of years, they start going for government contracts. And for government contracts, at least before 2025, they require a certain amount of minorities or certain classes, a number of minorities or certain classes in your company in order to win these government contracts. And so this is very annoying to me, but you see companies start promoting, oh, we love diversity, we love you, LG, I don't know the other letters. Oh, don't mind me, it's been a long day. Yeah, they love the other, let's say, subclasses of humans to come to their company just so they can win that contract. And when they do, they just throw them out. Let's move on before I get off topic. U.S. citizens, absolutely no visa sponsorship. This can vary because I've seen some companies who like the visas because they can basically run them like slaves. It's so unfortunate. Companies can be so evil, but they know like the candidates or their employees, if they don't do what they say, they'll fire them. And I think they only have like 30 to 60 days to leave the country. And so they know like they can tell anything. I need you to work 23 hours out of the day. And if you don't, I'm going to fire you. And then you're going to have to go back home and, I don't know, maybe blacklisted. I have no idea. But people are so scared, to say no. The last one for this first page is bonus points for founding engineer. Wow, I would actually like to know the salary for this position or founder experience. So they want you to have some kind of entrepreneurship. So that's it for the first page. There's the second page. The first bullet point for this is visa candidates. This is for what to avoid. Back that up. What to avoid. So this whole page is what to avoid. So visa candidates, C2C candidates, job hoppers, we're going through that. Graduates from boot camps. Oh my God. Let me back up on that. So graduates from boot camp, there was so much within the past like 2 to 3 years. There were so many people opening boot camps saying you just give me $20,000 and you'll be guaranteed the top biggest companies. I wonder if that's true. I think I've seen like 1 or 2 videos where people went through a boot camp and actually landed a job at a high top 10 tech company. But it seems like most people do not want people from boot camps. I've been seeing mixed reactions for that, so that's very interesting. Okay, the next one is consulting backgrounds. they want to see you sweat a little bit. They need to see you grind in your history and not be at companies with high salaries. You can't start off at 200K. That's way too low. You have to at least be making 700. I'm kidding. The next one is fake profiles. I've never encountered this, but of course I'm not a recruiter, but I have had a lot of fake recruiters contact me. So yeah, I could see that being annoying. But the big thing that I've been saying over the years is the blacklisting of companies. Now this is where I was very interested in, because it does matter not only what school you go to, but what companies you work for. So, for example, Intel, the very first company, I've been hearing in these streets, these tech streets, that a lot of hiring managers will not hire previous Intel employees. Cisco, HP, TCS, Tata, and so on. This is crazy. So it actually does matter. Prestige does matter. I find that interesting, and it's pretty unfortunate because I wish they would just be transparent with the job role or the candidate they're looking for, rather than people wasting their time going through so many interviews or applying just to, be denied because you're not let's say, quote unquote, a cultural fit.